Namaskaram. Welcome to my show, Point to Point with Shivarlamuri. Prabhakar Vagvala.
That's correct. Yes, you got it
Right?
Here you have to say Vagwala.
Oh, Vagvala. It's
In American, just to make it like, A sounds like an A.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's
But it's a
Vagwala.
Va.
Va.
W.
Va. In
Right?
Telugu, Va, Gwala.
Okay. Okay.
V, not W.
Oh, it's V. Oh, then it doesn't. Then it is not like a North Indian name. But earlier I was thinking Vagwala is with W.
Like Vadwani, right? No.
Right. Or Dabbawala, Bottlewala.
No.
Okay. So it is V Vagwala.
VAG,
Okay.
VALA,
Good.
Andhra, South India, Eluru.
Oh, okay.
Is my native place.
So you are from Eluru.
Eluru, yes.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
Though my parents migrated to Hyderabad before I was born.
I see.
But my grandparents and my uncles are all from.
So ancestral place is
Eluru, yeah.
Eluru in Andhra Pradesh.
Yes.
But you got raised and born in
Hyderabad, yeah.
That's because of your father's job?
My father's job. He used to work in IDPL, Indian Drugs and Pharmaceuticals Limited. Right. Coincidentally, I am almost in similar field.
Oh, okay.
He used to be a storekeeper in
IDPL. Okay.
And then due to certain government policies, the company got shut down, and my dad had to take a voluntary retirement.
Okay.
But so that's how he shifted to Hyderabad.
Okay. Wonderful. So in all our conversation, I will refer you as Mr. Vagvala because I really like that.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's the first time I'm hearing it. But I appreciate it.
As opposed to Prabhakar, I'll refer to you as Mr. Vagvala.
Vagvala, yes.
Right? So help us understand, Mr. Vagvala, your journey from India to America.
Yes.
In a short, crisp manner for my viewers.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'll try to make it very crisp because it's a 20 and plus years of journey. So I completed my MBA in 2002, took my first job, and coincidentally, just the neighbor of IDPL where my dad used to work is HAL in Hyderabad, Balanagar.
Oh, okay.
I took up a job through the entrance examination and all of that.
HAL, Hindustan Aeronautical Limited, right?
It's a premier aerospace industry.
You bet.
In India. So we had a division in Hyderabad where I took up a job as a supply chain officer.
Okay. What kind of exam did you write to get into that?
So it's a HAL common entrance exam.
I see.
They do it like very regularly, once a year.
I see. So you cleared that exam. Okay.
Go through the entrance exam, go through the interview process. You go to Bangalore for a 6 to 8 months training, which is the best part of our career.
Oh, okay.
And then I took up the job in HAL in Hyderabad.
Okay. The place where you were born and raised, you worked there.
Where I was raised, I worked there, and it was excellent. I mean, I worked there for 3 years, getting to the real grind. Today, everything is technology, computers, right? But those days, I used to sit with files, papers, take the files around, get it approved. It was a different, fun way of working. We had a fantastic team. Right, I'm still in touch with many of my colleagues from
in HAL.
Yeah, because that's my first job, precious.
Good.
Where I learned a lot.
Everybody has good memories with the first job. How long did you work there?
I worked there for 3 years, but a very crucial job. That was the time when we were getting into manufacturing our own Sukhoi 30 fighter jets. India were manufacturing. Until then, we were purchasing mainly from Russia.
Oh, okay.
And then we completed like 20 years. Generally, how it works is that when you're purchasing these kind of aircraft from other countries, within 20 years, you should develop your own manufacturing capabilities.
Oh, I see.
So it was around the year 2000. It's called transfer of technology, where Russia then allowed us to manufacture our own Sukhoi 30s.
Oh, okay.
And then I was working in the procurement department. Very important.
So these are the fighter jets you're talking?
Fighter jets, twin-seater fighter jets.
I see.
Double engine. Fantastic work it's doing for India's defense, even today.
Okay.
Right.
This is a good information for my viewers also.
Yeah.
So any technology or anything we buy from outside country, we have certain period of time that we can build our own. You're saying that by the time you got in, we started building our own.
We got
what is it called? Sukhoi.
Sukhoi 30 or short form Su-30.
Okay.
It's a twin-seater fighter jet. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Does a lot of work.
So you got to see the fighter jet and all that?
Absolutely. I mean, so during
Did you sit in the fighter jet?
you're not. I mean, you got to be trained. I mean, I sat in a simulated
Okay.
aircraft, but the real ones, it's you got to go higher the ranks to be able to
sit in
experience that.
Okay.
I didn't get the opportunity, but we saw very close, like the air shows that they perform in Bangalore,
Okay.
and the entire manufacturing process from
Okay.
engine to fitting, all of that I had the opportunity to observe. And where the equipment that I was buying was called CNC, it's called computerized numerical control machines, which was, I'm talking about 2002, just the starting of technology of automation in manufacturing.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
And so 2002 automation of manufacturing in that space, or in general you're talking about?
Overall, also we were going through the Industrial Revolution 4. It's 4.0.
I see.
Industrial Revolution, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 was just starting in the 2000s, where there was this talk of replacing labor force with machines, right? So that was the period where all companies were trying to automate their manufacturing, even the car manufacturers. Like in India, we have a lot of car manufacturing, right? Those days you would have persons across the assembly line, but today there's hardly 2 people in the assembly line. It's all automated. So that's what I'm talking about. It's through these CNC machines, computerized numerical control machines, one person is sitting at the beginning of the assembly line controlling what goes in which.
So does that mean job cuts? Was that like
that? Was, yeah. I mean, see, this fear of job cuts, even when I started 2000s, 2002s, we had the .com revolution, right? Internet revolution. These job cuts have been a trend. Today, I consider it a fad word. I mean, no matter which new technology comes, you still need people, even in AI.
Right.
AI has to build based on what humans feed into it.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah,
so
we'll come to that AI part soon.
Yeah.
So 3 years you worked there, and that's a supply chain.
That's in the supply chain function, hardcore supply chain, purchasing these machinery for Sukhoi 30.
Okay. So that was your first 3 years of the life. What actually drove you to pick that line?
Purchasing?
Yeah.
I mean, somehow I had, because my dad was in the stores department in IDPL throughout my young age, or my growing up, he would give me a lot of stories about how he used to work in the stores. And I cannot pinpoint that is what, but then I think that is what kind of hit me into my head.
Some seed
exactly,
came in
right?
From that,
so very incidental. I mean, my journey has been very kind of coincidental in that sense. He retired, and the next year I got my job.
Okay.
IDPL and HL were neighbors, so nothing was written, right? I mean, it was like so I think it was through his experiences that he shared throughout his career that kind of gave me that interest.
Good.
And today I'm a supply chain expert in various industries. I mean, I worked in, that was my first industry.
So after that 3 years, what did you do then?
So I wanted to upskill myself because, in Hindustan Aeronautics, we were, of course, latching on to newer technology, but then being a government enterprise, those would be slow. The growth of technology would take its own time, right? But then I had to move faster because the industry was moving very fast. Supply chain was, kind of revolutionizing itself from the traditional planning on paper, planning on computers to, implementing decision-making tools of how supply chain works. So I wanted to upgrade myself, which is when I got into this niche area called SAP.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of took a loan from a bank and then took up a course, a certification course in Hyderabad. And upskilled myself in SAP, and that's when I became now a SAP certified professional, and then spent the last 17 years in this field in various, industries. From there I moved on to like Wipro for a very short time. After upskilling myself on SAP, I moved to Wipro in Bangalore.
So from HAL, upscale, Wipro. Okay. So in between, I'll ask you another question.
Sure, yeah.
Do you have siblings?
I have a brother and sister, yes.
Okay. Where are they?
So my sister is in Garland here.
Okay. So in Dallas.
In Dallas.
I see.
And she is also working in a company, insurance company. Here. And then my brother is in Dubai.
I see.
He works in the finance sector.
Okay. Well, Dubai is a good place.
It is. I mean, so every time
I do want to work in Dubai some point of time.
You should. I mean, it's a perfect conglomeration of India and the West.
That's exactly my feeling is, buddy. Have you been to Dubai before?
Every single year on our way to India, we make a pit stop in Dubai.
I do go via Dubai, but I have nobody in Dubai.
Just get down, take a transit with. Oh, now you have me. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Now
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Wipro.
Yes.
So you went through the interview process and everything.
So Wipro was where I learned my SAP, was through Siemens, a company that trains people on SAP, and they kind of placed me. There was this placement process that they had, and I got placed into Wipro, which was a very short stint, frankly. I mean, it was only 6 months in Wipro, but my real SAP experience started off in Infosys.
So Infosys, everybody knows Infosys is a pretty
big,
top-notch and premier institute in India. So how did you get there then?
So I mean, through my SAP knowledge and experience, and SAP was growing at that time. It was a new technology. So Infosys was looking for a good SAP professionals. And then, like I said, the selection those days was extremely stringent. You had to have a certain grade level in your education and be able to, go through a grilling interview process. But I got selected in 2006 and I spent 8 years up till 2014.
So you're pretty smarty pants, if I have to say.
I consider myself, yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. Yeah. So Infosys then?
So I did so many projects in Infosys. Some of the key ones I'll tell you was I worked for Adidas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So where we manufacture, the shoes. Right. So very interesting work I had. I traveled literally almost all the countries in Europe doing projects for Adidas, be it Germany, France, Italy, Spain. Because we were implementing, ERP across. It was kind of a greenfield implementation. They had lots of legacy systems. And I led the supply chain implementation in Adidas.
So with your technology, you also were building your personality and then culture experience into.
Totally. Because until then, I didn't step on a flight.
You never got into a.
Never got
other than getting into a simulator of jet.
Exactly. I never got into a real aeroplane, right? So that was my first time getting onto the aircraft in 2006.
Oh, okay.
And the first travel was to Canada.
Oh, okay. Okay, to Canada.
Our neighbor in Canada.
Yeah. One of the, I'm just jokingly, recently our president said, come on, 51st state, right? Oh my God, that's scary. Let's not go there. Yeah. So you said you traveled in Europe also, right?
Yes.
So what part of Europe did you really like?
Excellent. I mean, Europe, I think everywhere you go, it's architecture, medieval architecture, right? And the infrastructure, the transport, and the people. I mean, I'll tell you what, everyone is active. Okay, here you got cars. You got to go to Walmart, you got to take your car. You got to step out, you got to take your car. There you got to walk, take the public transport because you don't have as much space as here to park your car, park your vehicle. So you got little spaces, live in your little space, go use the public transport, excellent transportation. And beautiful place, beautiful food. Europe is known, some of the places in Europe is known for its food, but I was pretty new coming from India, no spice and all that, right? So today I can literally eat any cuisine. But those days when I first came out of the country in 2006, really struggled with salads and sandwiches. Especially Europe is very much known for those. I mean, you think of your pizza in India, Domino's. Pizza in Italy is nowhere close to the Domino's. You got to get used to that food.
So which one did you?
So initially, I was thinking
this is definitely native there. So the taste probably is totally different.
It's totally different. But like I said, I mean, your mindset has to change, right? Otherwise, you are expecting the Domino's pizza, but then here you got the local pizza. Unless you adapt your mind to that taste, and once you get adapted, you will think, okay, this is the real pizza. But it took some time to adjust. Europe is a different culture, difficult because they don't speak. I mean, not a lot of countries speak English. So you got, and you're kind of warned. Some places you should not go to. Some places stay within certain regions.
Gotcha.
And the biggest shocker to me was in Europe, everything closes at 6 p.m. So if you want something urgent, then there's no stores available after 6 p.m. It's a different experience, but a very pleasant one for me.
Good. So going back to your supply chain expertise, right? And you said you led the supply chain implementation in Adidas. So by then, how many years did you put into Infosys?
So by the time I actually got into Adidas was 6 years. So 2012
okay.
was what I got when I got into Adidas. But before Adidas, my biggest client was the eye care. So Siba Vision. The company name is Siba Vision.
Siba Vision.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's into manufacturing of contact lenses.
Oh, okay.
So it was on Siba Vision that I actually came to Canada.
Oh, okay.
We implemented SAP in Siba Vision. I was in US from 2008 to 11, just doing the implementations across Siba Vision sites and the supply chain function. So we had like, the way these companies work, you got some manufacturing hubs.
Okay.
Right. So you get manufacturing in Asia, in Singapore, you got a manufacturing in Europe, you have it in Germany. You won't have these manufacturing plants in every site.
Okay.
You will have, for a region, you will have one hub.
Okay.
One manufacturing hub, one warehouse hub. So you got to manufacture, ship it to the warehouse, and the warehouse will take care of distribution across the region.
I see.
So you had Singapore, you had Germany, and in US, we had the manufacturing in US.
Okay.
And shipping to the warehouse in US that would then take care of the entire North America and LATAM. South America as well. Latin America as well.
Okay. Okay.
That's how it works.
So since then you've been with the eye industry, is that?
Yes. So the way it worked is through Infosys, I was doing this SAP implementation for Siba Vision. Very interesting story here. So through Infosys, I was working for Siba Vision as a project, and then I went back to India for some time for 2 more years. Worked on Adidas. Okay. And then I got an opportunity to join Siba Vision as a full-time employee. In US.
Oh, I see.
And then Siba got merged into Alcon. Today, the company that I work for is called Alcon.
Alcon.
Yeah. And in our industry, you got a lot of mergers and acquisitions. Because it's a medical device, pharma sector. Right. You will always see smaller companies being acquired by the bigger ones.
Right.
So we had a situation where Alcon got acquired by Novartis, a much bigger company.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And that's a pharmaceutical company.
That's a pharma company. They're into generics.
Okay.
Okay. So they kind of acquired Alcon. Alcon was into eye care.
Okay.
Because Novartis did not have that experience in eye care, they purchased Alcon, but burned their fingers because they just didn't. Novartis was trying to put their ways of working onto Alcon, which is more. Alcon is more driven towards individual patients, individual customers. Novartis is a generic company, right? So their
mass production versus specialized
production. Exactly, you got it so easily, right? But Novartis unfortunately didn't get that, right? So they tried to put their ways of working of wholesale manufacturing, wholesale distribution on a more retail kind of a company, and then it bounced back. So they had to spin it off. Today we are glad as Alcon that we are a separate entity.
But you're still with Novartis.
We got spun off. So Novartis.
So it's totally got separate.
Totally, yes.
How does that happen? I mean, you buy something, it doesn't work. You can't just say, I don't want you anymore.
So the way it works is that when you buy it, it all becomes one stock. Novartis is the major, shareholder, and then there's no more Alcon entity by itself.
Correct.
It becomes one. I mean, within Novartis, a division is Alcon.
Right.
When you decide to spin it off, then you got to inform your investors, take the investors' approval, and then you would have a separate entity called Alcon. So the way it works is that you announce a separation, and then the companies work together for another, say, 6-7 months. And during those 6-7 months, it is very crucial. This is the most important thing in pharma industry. Data privacy is a big deal, right? I mean, Novartis did not want, even though we were one company, Novartis was very, very particular that none of their data gets visible to any Alcon employee since the day one of separation. Okay, because Novartis customers, what they are buying, what their orders are, what their shipments are, they didn't want Alcon because we were becoming a third-party company.
Okay.
Right? So in mergers and acquisitions, separating out the data very precisely is a big, and I worked on a separation project when Alcon spun off from Novartis.
That's really interesting. How would you prevent the data from not being visible to Alcon while either merger is happening or once you become one entity? How would you do that?
So when you become one entity, you're good.
Okay.
But the moment you are separate companies, then you got to work within a very short time frame, within a few months, you got to work towards making the decision of separating the data. Data, employees, right? First, it starts with the people. So you have to decide who are going to be Novartis employees, who are going to be Alcon employees. And that was that period was a very stressful period for all of us, not knowing where you were going to settle in. And all of us being here in Fort Worth, our Alcon headquarters is here.
Oh, I see.
Right. So we were all hoping that we would be part of Alcon because this is where we grew up, and I first joined Alcon.
Right.
And thankfully, a lot of us in my team, right, we got the opportunity to get back to Alcon, and then we have to separate out the data. So we had to build tools. That was a project that I led, and this was again on AI. Through AI, we had to build tools to distinguish, what is considered in what is data, what is considered in Alcon data, and then precisely, literally like a blade, right? You got to precisely cut it off on a date. You cannot impact the manufacturing and customers, right? I mean, without any impact to them, within a weekend window, within a 48-hour window, we had to separate out the data.
Within 48-hour window. So by then you already will do some pre-work and homework and all that.
It's called mock cutovers.
Oh, okay.
You would run tons of mock cutovers to know that on that day you're doing exactly. So we had like 20,000 steps.
Okay.
In that 48-hour window, like all of us were more or less
20,000 steps.
20,000 steps to be able to precisely separate out the data between the two companies and say goodbye to Novartis on the Monday the next day.
Okay.
Very interesting story. So we built excellent tools that are still available. In case Alcon goes through this again, we'll do it much better.
So you're saying if Alcon either buys somebody else or if Alcon is bought by somebody else, you already have.
We already have. And thankfully, we have been buying a lot of companies. Alcon has been, I said, I mean, you buy smaller companies, $2 billion companies, $1 million companies. You kind of half a billion dollar companies you kind of tend to buy. So we do that, and then they are on the kind of these companies, have to now merge with us. So we bring in all of their data. So we have those tools now that we efficiently use. Don't spend all the efforts in reinventing the wheel. So it's a great experience.
Very good. So by now you are a supply chain expert and also mergers and acquisitions.
I would say that, yes.
And I heard you talking about data transformation also.
I've written a lot of articles on these subjects.
I see.
How you do mergers and acquisitions in the ERP space. I'm talking about SAP. SAP is a ERP. Right. So in the ERP space, how do you separate out data, keeping in mind the data privacy, GDPR. In Europe, it's called, global data privacy requirements.
Okay.
So you got to meet, and here there's HIPAA, right, where patient information cannot be visible. So all of those, data privacy and integrity, you got to keep in mind. We built tools that actually achieve that within that 48-hour window.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
When was this? You talk about AI also. I mean, I know AI has like evolved in last few years, right?
So 2020, March 16 was the day we went live with our first separated system between Alcon and Novartis.
Oh, and using AI.
A part of AI that's improved over a period of time now.
Right. That's
but AI has been in the industry for a very long period. It's just that the term is getting more significant.
True. No, I agree. I recently also realized that AI was mentioned while I was studying my engineering, but then I did not realize that's a different story. And I was shocked that, we had that terminology since then, and now it has evolved.
I mean, see, it was called traditional AI. Today, what you hear is generative AI, where AI is like I was coming in Tesla to your office, right? I mean, the FSD works like so great. And how does that work is it's not one-time built code, right? It's learning based on millions.
It's model learning, right? Yeah.
It's learning based on millions of vehicles that are driving every day and improving the FSD like on the go. That's called generative AI, which is what is catching up today. But the traditional AI has been in force since I would say at least a decade now.
Okay. Well, what do you think about these LLMs?
Yeah, language learning models. I mean, it's necessary, right? I mean, that's what is driving the AI. I mean, you have heard of DeepSeek.
Right. Oh, yeah, the Chinese.
Chinese. I mean, yes, Chinese, but it has kind of, I would say, transformed the industry, the LLM industry.
Okay. Did it force to transform, or
it's a force? It's a force. I mean, eventually it would have to happen sometime or the other because the GPUs that is required to put. I mean, if you ask a question in ChatGPT, the amount of data it's searching and giving you that answer in milliseconds, you imagine what kind of processors you need. Right. The chips that you need now. DeepSeek has come up with technology that doesn't need those chips.
Wow.
So Nvidia has been on, the brunt taking
yeah.
in the stock price and all
Correct,
of that,
correct,
right?
correct. Yeah, I heard.
So eventually,
17% or something just
exactly,
went down,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So you would still need chips, but now you got better processors coming from, DeepSeek's experience, and that's it. So, and you're going to have this transformative, like today, example is Tesla. You can only drive at 300-kilometer range, right? 260, 300.
Correct. 280, yes.
I mean, imagine a battery that comes out from, say, China or anywhere that takes 1,000 miles battery range.
Wow.
It's a disruptive technology, right?
Correct.
Next decade, you're going to have disruptive technology in this industry, is my belief.
Okay, good. So you seem to be touching a lot of dimensions here, right? And I also see that you are well spoken.
Thank you.
Especially, I want to appreciate the fact that you don't have an accent. I really like that. You have a true English.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people talk to a lot of people, right? They do have a lot of what do you call, like acquired accent.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? But you don't have that. That's really good. That's the one thing. Along with it, looks like you have supply chain automation.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one?
Data transformation.
Data transformation.
Yeah.
And also you have the cultural aspect
Oh yeah.
to it, right? So nowadays, if you see, and I want my viewers also to see what they get out of it, right? Nowadays, if you see the young generation, right, everybody is struggling, number one.
Oh yeah.
Right? Number two, everybody talks about AI, right? Kids are also talking about AI, ML, Python, and all that stuff. But I don't really think that they understand the depth.
Absolutely.
And this, what can go along with it in terms of what you just suggested, right? Supply chain management has a big need. So, what would you suggest them to go against or go search for, so that they are standing out in the crowd, standing out of the crowd, and they can shape their future easily, as opposed to now kids are struggling. The full stack or AI, whatever you talk, right?
Yeah.
It's not happening. What would you suggest, Mike?
Sure, I think that's a great question. And with my 20 years of experience in this field, what I see happening, like in our company, I work for Alcon today, right? In our company as well, because of this rush for AI, everyone has to, be on AI. Otherwise, you are already form of fear of missing out, right? So you are taking, you need to take youngsters, no doubt. The general mistake we are doing is, you're taking this, for example, I'm giving you a practical example. In our company, in certain departments, we have taken these youngsters and put them in really senior positions, and they're struggling. I'll tell you why they're struggling, right? They've got this fantastic AI knowledge, but they have to go through the grill of, what makes the AI work. You won't know what's going to make the AI work until you know the business process, until you know the real brick and mortar, how did it function, right? What do you do your code when you have not built it to do what you're supposed to do, right? My advice to youngsters is, yes, I mean, go upskill on your technologies, no doubt, AI, ML, Python, everything, but know what the industry, what actually is a traditional industry.
The traditional industry and the functions of
a traditional industry. If possible, do your internship on the shop floor.
Okay.
Right. Coming from the shop floor, I mean, supply chain industry, know how an assembly line works. Right. Know how a manufacturing works. Know how a real supply chain works.
So I have a conflicting comment.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So you said you have to go and understand the shop floor and how the brick and mortar works and all that stuff, right?
Correct. Yeah.
But yet the industry itself is transforming to be a automation where you really don't need to understand the crux of it, right? All you have to be a technical all you have to do is know technical aspect, right? How is that going to?
I mean, I think this is how the generation is thinking today, right? That if I know technology, that is sufficient. But then how would you, the key question to the youngsters is, I mean, what are you going to code, or what are you going to write your AI on if you don't know how an assembly line works?
Okay.
Or if you don't know how a car drives?
Okay.
and which is going to happen very
Right.
in the near future.
They'll forget how to drive a car.
People will not know how to drive a car. So how are you going to build AI on driving a car if you don't even know how to drive a car?
Right.
Very crude example, but it's realistic.
Okay.
Right. I mean, Elon Musk has gone through a lot in his career to build the technology that he has built, be it in SpaceX or in Tesla. But then today's engineers are coming out fresh from the university and directly want to, get onto AI and ML. But yeah, I mean, my advice would be to, learn.
So learn the
Basics.
fundas also around the
Exactly.
business, not
Around
just strictly rely on the technology.
I
is
would
what you're saying.
strongly
suggesting.
advise,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. But so what would be the niche area? So supply chain management, you think is a place where there is a lot of need for youngsters to come in?
There is. I mean, supply chain has a vast space. Some examples I'll give you is in my industry, eye care industry. The doctors, I mean, space is becoming expensive. None of neither my manufacturing companies, the moment they manufacture, they want it out of the shop floor.
Oh, okay.
The inventory that they manufacture has to get out of the shop floor. Doctors do not want to keep in their offices inventory for 6 months. Forget it. They don't want to keep inventory for 10 days. Right. So what it means is that my supply chain has to be so precise.
Okay.
Right. The planning has to be so precise that I know exactly when I want my raw materials going into the shop floor. The shop floor knows exactly when to manufacture the IOL, and then the warehouse kind of picks it up, and the route has to be optimized, right? I mean, that's another
I see what you're saying.
another topic. Just in time. It's called just in time inventory.
Gotcha.
Right. The product has, if it reaches late, surgery gets cancelled.
Okay.
If it reaches too early, I'm paying cost for the
space.
The space.
Storage.
So I mean, it's a lot of space for the AI. AI plays a big role in this because you've got vast amounts of data with history of a company like Alcon, 20 years of data I have. Now go analyze which vendor supplies in how much time, or which parts come in how much time does the manufacturing line take, how much time does the truck take to go to the doctor's office. All of that you analyze and be able to precisely plan your entire supply chain.
Okay. So share some of your leadership experience with my viewers, and I have another question for you. With that, we'll conclude. Go ahead and share your leadership. I'm sure you're in a leadership role right now in Alcon, right?
In Alcon.
And before we get there, I want to ask you about your eyes. I mean, 20 years, you're definitely 40 plus. You don't have eyesight or anything. You don't have glasses. Do you have contacts?
No, I don't have contacts. Thank you for asking the question. I know how contacts are made. I know how IOLs, it's called an intraocular lens, which is used to, kind of treat cataracts. I know all of that stuff, but I think it's in the genes. My dad got eyesight very late in his late 40s. Same with my sister and brother. They don't wear glasses yet. Wow. I am not wearing contacts, by the way, so I can still see
20/20 vision, huh?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's genetics, nothing to do with what you are eating and all that stuff.
Possibly. I mean, we want more, to be healthy, but there's obviously diet that plays a factor. Today, my kids have glasses, by the way.
So, crap. Okay.
So we broke the
the chain,
the tradition,
right?
The tradition, right? And I believe they got the glasses with probably the technology. And,
the adverse impact of technology.
I believe.
Wow.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, go back. Let's go back to your leadership.
So leadership, yeah. I mean, I've been blessed, or I probably showed my intuition towards leadership at a very young age in my career, right from HAL days itself. And I think you as well, hinted towards the way I am fluent and all that, right? So in HAL itself, I got to be able to be a manager for a bigger team.
Oh, within that 3 years?
Within the 3 years, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's when I think any leadership, I mean, they say leaders are made, not born, all of that debate always happens, right? But I believe that in my case, I was made a leader through the experiences that I gained in the last 20 years. From HAL days to Infosys days as well. I mean, I joined kind of new to technology there, but managed huge projects. I mean, at that point in my career in 2006, with like 4 years experience, I was already managing team of 120 to 150 resources. And
how do you? So it's always been a question, and I always have been, I also have leadership roles and all. I have a different style of managing things. One of them is delegating. That's a different story, but it's not about me. How do you manage the trouble kids in your team?
Yeah, I mean that's an ongoing, never-ending story. You would always have trouble kids, but I would say probably as a leader, they treat them as part of your team, give them the tasks, and there's always the scope, right? I mean, I depend on few of my teammates a lot more than a few other team members, but it is through my experience, I've realized that it is not intentional. When someone is unable to perform, it is truly not intentional. It is, I mean, not everyone is equal, not everyone is born equal, not everyone is made equal.
Correct.
So everyone has different characteristics. There are so many more people better than me, there are so many people who cannot do as good as me, right? So we are always, everyone is in the middle.
Gotcha.
There's no highest authority in this world, right? So everyone's got someone better, someone lower, and that's how teams are.
It's a good phrase.
There's no one that's doing it intentional. So give that scope, give that benefit of doubt to the people who are not able to perform, and give them what they can. Do not make a fish climb a tree.
Gotcha.
Right. So
gotcha. Okay. Perfect example. Yeah. So if you have to hire somebody, what is the qualities you would look for in an individual?
Attitude. Yeah. I mean, no matter how inherently good or in terms of technology or experience you are, I think attitude matters. A positive attitude is what I most importantly look at in a person when hiring someone in my team.
Even if he or she is not not tech savvy, but what you're looking for is an attitude.
Tech savvy to a certain extent I need, because I have to deliver my
right.
But if a person is tech savvy but not having the right attitude, then it's not going to work in the team. In a team of 20 to 30 people, if one person is too egoistic that they know everything, it's not, I mean, it's demotivating the rest of the 15 people. I wouldn't want that person. Probably a lesser tech savvy who is willing to learn, right? At the end of the day, what matters is, have I learned through the experiences? Things are not going to happen overnight, right? Projects don't complete overnight. I get a year, I get 6 months to do a project. And maybe the first project, the person may be junior. And by then, if he or she has the right attitude, I have my own example. I'm an example. I mean, when I joined, obviously, I was not the most brightest in the team. But through projects, through experiences, you gain the knowledge. So a person with right attitude will deliver much better in, say, 6 months from now than a person with wrong attitude.
Awesome. Very good. So I would like to conclude with one last question. What do you see yourself in next 5 to 10 years? I know these days the tenures are very shorter. Way back in days, they used to say, what is your 5-year plan? What is your 10-year plan?
Yeah.
But that's not the case anymore. But you as an individual in your career, now, what is your role now in Alcon?
I'm a director of ERP operations at Alcon.
Okay. That's pretty responsible job, right? So what do you see yourself in, how do you want to end your career? Like, where do you want to see
Absolutely.
yourself?
I mean, I have been in this information technology space now for 15, 16 years, gained the business process experience. I see myself, and I'm pretty sure I'll see myself as a information technology head, a CIO of an organization before I retire.
Wonderful. What are your steps? What are you doing to get there?
Exactly what I've been doing for the last 20 years, right? Have the fire in the belly.
Okay.
To learn the new technologies, to be able to manage larger teams, cross-cultural, and you appreciated my cross-cultural.
You bet, yeah.
Right? So I think I've seen Asia, I've seen Europe, I've seen North America. South America is some areas that I want to, kind of still gain some expertise there, but, just keep growing technologically, personality-wise, and we'll make it.
Okay, so sorry, I said last question, but I got another question for you, because you said you want to become a CIO, right?
Yeah.
So how are you going to give back to the community in the process of becoming a CIO, or once you become a CIO? How do you plan on giving back
to the
community?
It's really twofold. There is your personal preference, and then through the company in a leadership position, what you do, right? I mean, in my personal capacity, you don't need to be a CIO to do that. Absolutely right. I mean, we know so many examples that do the giving, even without having a great role or job. But as a CIO, you got more power. right? I mean,
More influence.
more influence, absolutely. And we do this very regularly in the US. I'll tell you, as a company, I mean, in Alcon, we focus a lot on giving, the concept of giving in North America. I think what I will do is, coming from India, I will use my influence to do some corporate CSRs,
in India?
through this company in India as well, right? I mean, we should use that
that's good.
influence.
That's good. Hey, so what do you have you guys as a company looked into autism at all?
Not really. I mean, in terms of vision, we haven't, at least I'm not aware.
The CSR part of is what I'm referring to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a lot of CSR initiatives, especially with in and around vision for autistic kids.
Oh, okay.
As well as, economically backward societies.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a lot in that area. There's no doubt. I mean, in Habitat, there's something called Habitat where we, it's called Alcon in Action.
Okay.
Where we build a home. I mean, the entire community volunteers to build a house for privileged, for one
underprivileged people. Okay. Good. Yeah, autism in my mind is been increasing because again, one of the adverse effect of the technology. Right?
Okay.
That's coming up. So and that's why I asked you.
Oh, sure.
You guys
Yeah,
are you guys thinking about anything, doing any specific things around autism? Or helping people who are autistic?
I don't have too much, knowledge in that area.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Vagvala. It was nice talking to you, and I greatly appreciate coming into Prime9 studio in Dallas. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity as well.
Thank you.